say from the trauma from the injury, and, you know, those go ahead now. The whole back end still swollen. So that was, when I actually injured it, they didn't do surgery for that. The patient injury was the 5th of February. They just couldn't get it in. I couldn't, they couldn't, originally, they couldn't even get me in for an MRI until I ended up going to this one, so they could that process at 5 hours a week, and they originally did me a March 6th surgery date, and then got that bumped up to the 29th. So we're just short. Oh, it is. Good luck. Thank you, sir.
Y'all are too controversial.
Why?
I hope wasn't way too controversial for me.
Send me back a pen because I forgot to get one out of my purse.
Yeah. Right here or right here, I don't care. Either one. Make sure that when you leave, see that you're sitting in front.
They wouldn't let me use this there.
What was that? All of the other amazing things she does. She managed to do that.
I know them. I think I can. I'll let you know.
Call to order the New Kent County Board of Supervisors, June 10th, 2024, meeting to order. Ms. Watkins, will you call the roll?
Mr. Evelyn?
Here.
Mr. Moyer?
Here.
Ms. Pearson,
Here.
Mr. Steers.
Here.
And Ms. Stewart.
Here.
Thank you, Ms. Watkins. I would like to ask Pastor Wayne Mead from New Kent Christian Church to come up and lead us in invocation and prayer. But before we do that, I would like everyone to stand for a moment of silence. As each of you know, Charles City County lost Floyd Miles Jr., deputy, yesterday in a tragic accident. So I know the Miles family really well. So all our condolences are out to the Charles City Sheriff's Department, the Miles family, and all the Charles City residents. So please stand for a moment of silence.
Lord, as we come together tonight and as our hearts are heavy for the Miles family, Lord, I ask that even now that you bring comfort to them, Lord, a comfort and a peace that passes all understanding as only you can do. And Lord, I just pray that you would send people to surround that family, Lord, to encourage them, to let them know, Lord, that the journey that they are about to embark on, Lord, that they would not walk that journey alone. And that, Lord, as a community, Lord, we come beside them and along beside them, Lord, to let them know that our hearts and our prayers and our thoughts are with them daily as they journey this next season of their life and the loss of such a dedicated man in their community and in their family. And so, Lord, as we go about this evening, I ask, God, that you would grant us wisdom in all of the decisions that we make over all of the endeavors of our county. Lord, that you would grant us peace and unity in all things, Lord, in the division of the different districts, Lord, that we would come together in one accord, Lord, understanding, Lord, that it is for the benefit of your residents and of your people as we gather together this evening, Lord, to be about the business of our community. So, Lord, I just ask your covering and your blessing upon this county, upon this leadership team that you have put in place, Lord, and that, God, that you would grant us, Lord, direction and understanding in all things. For, Lord, we do it for your glory and your honor as we gather together this evening. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. If you would remain standing as we will say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor Mead. I'd like to welcome everyone here tonight and also everyone watching. Our first item on our agenda tonight is the consent agenda. Do any board members have any comments, questions, concerns about the consent agenda?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the consent agenda for June 10th.
Thank you, Mr. Moyer. Any other discussion? Ms. Watkins, will you poll the members?
Mr. Moyer,
Aye.
Ms. Pearson,
Aye.
Mr. Steers.
Aye.
Ms. Stewart.
Aye.
And Mr. Evelyn.
Aye. Motion passed. Next item is the citizens' comment period. Anyone signed up? Could you bring a sign-up sheet to the front, please? We have one constituent signed up this evening. I would ask you to come up to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Brent Lewis.
Good evening. My name is Andy Shine.
No, this is Brant Lewis.
Oh,
Mr.
I
Shine.
was number first on. Oh, sorry.
This is a citizen comment period. Did you want to sign up for that?
No, I signed up for the second one.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm just anxious.
Very important.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thank you for listening to me. I'm Brant Lewis. I've lived in New Kent County for 12 years. We like it very much.
Could you state your address for the record,
Oh,
please? Mr. Lewis?
7714 North Franklin's Way in Quentin.
Thank you.
I participated. I'm a graduate of New Kent University. I've participated last year in the long-term planning for New Kent County, as a lot of people did. At that time, there was a young woman there that suggested it would be really nice if New Kent County had a way to get to the Chickahominy River, access for canoes and kayaks. And I have seen people do that. I don't know if that's possible or how feasible that is. But I told her I remembered that Crawford Woods goes up to the Chickahominy River. And I'm not sure that's appropriate, but I got to thinking about it over the winter. And I thought that Crawford Woods is a real asset and something really valuable for the county, and could be developed. And I know it's the Forest Preserve or the State Forest Preserve. Last summer, I met Amanda Batten and mentioned it to her. And she said, well, how do your Board of Supervisors feel about it? So that's why I'm here. Anyway, if it's the land was donated by some Richardson family, I think in 1985. It has a plaque there. It is actually 258 acres. You can all look it up by just going online and going to Crawford Forest Reserve. I can't. It's state owned anyway. I think it's very flat. It looks to me like it's an old wagon road. I don't know what the history of it is. It looks very much like an old wagon road. It's about 6 feet wide. It's very flat. Goes back to the river. Has a lot of possibilities. It's not been maintained super well, but there are other trails that connect to it. It is, I'm trying to get as much in as I can in 3 minutes. It is, I think, would have a lot of possibilities for handicap accessible hiking eventually, and I don't know how to plan that. I don't know how to do it, but somebody does. I think it's got a lot of possibilities, especially if the state would take and improve the trailhead. It looks like there's been a parking lot there. It does get used, but not very much. It looks like there's been gravel in the parking lot and it's washed away. If the state would put a gravel parking lot in there and maybe a little more ingress or egress, that would help a lot. Maybe a few picnic tables. The fact that it's flat and it has a long road. Did I run out of time?
Yeah, I got to get.
Okay.
I get 2 seconds. I got to treat everybody equally.
Okay.
So.
I'll let you go. I do have. I'll finish with this.
Well, you bring that up for the record.
This is economic. I'll give you this.
Right.
This is from the Federal Reserve Bank of Richmond. They put out an economic focused magazine quarterly. They ask that people pass it around. The subscription is free, and it has a lot of articles in it that are pertinent to Central Virginia, including one here called The Outdoor Recreation Economy. And I'm going to give this to John because he and I have discussed it.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Yeah. Thank you very much for your comments. I think, Mr. Steers, I think you've talked about the Crawford, looking at that.
No, Mr. Chairman, I had talked about the Forestry Commission, the state forestry place down there. I mean, it's right on the Chickahominy, and it's probably been at least a year or so, but I did mention something to Delegate Scott Wyatt. And supposedly he's looking into it. But, I mean, I thought that'd be great just so the residents have access to the Chickahominy, maybe put in a boat launch,
right, and
some picnic tables, grills, no overnight camping, but, just something for the residents here to have. I
think that'd be wonderful, and I think I don't know the young lady's name who brought this up at the planning meeting, but one last thing. John has subscription forms for the magazine.
Mr. Moore, take care. Close the citizens' comment period. Next is the residency administrator's report. Mr. Nguyen.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Mr. Hathaway, Marshall Wynn with VDOT. This past month, we had 106 work orders, completed 121, had 4 call-outs, been doing regular maintenance activities, pothole patching, grading on hard surface roads, sweeping some roads, did some extensive sidewalk work in Brickshire around Flower and Peach in that area. I think it was 17 slabs that they removed and replaced. Doing pipe work, ditching, and shoulder work. Completed the first cycle of primary mow prior to Memorial Day. We're going to start the second cycle of primary mow within the next couple of weeks. We started on our second cycle of specialty mow just last week and completed that. And the secondary mow cycle just started this past week, last week actually. Other than that, doing, sign repair and some litter pickup. Don't have anything else, not unless y'all have any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Nguyen. Ms. Stewart, do you have anything?
And just a thank you to you and Mr. Terry for getting that brush cut on Diaskin Trail. The constituent is very happy, so thank you.
Got that done today, I think.
Ms. Steers?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I have a couple things. First of all, Mr. Wynn, we've missed you. I don't know where you are, but we've missed you. Glad you're back.
Well,
okay, that's good.
We'll talk about that later.
I have a couple things. One is the roundabout, the permanent roundabout at Kentland Trail. I know I talked with your engineer, Frazier, at a public event a couple weeks ago. He said that possibly it would go to engineering this fall, and then possibly the construction would start next year. I've seen people out there surveying, so I'm wondering, is that part of the engineering work?
I'm not real sure about that. Are you talking about starting next year? I doubt that very seriously. I'll have to get with Philip and get him to give you some more information on that.
Okay.
Okay?
If you would, because I don't want to wait 10 more years.
I got you.
But I appreciate it. Also, I saw where the governor signed HB 1071. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but it expands the current authority of any locality to reduce the speed limit to less than 25 miles an hour, but not less than 15 miles an hour. And localities can do this and then notify the Commissioner of Highways of the change in the speed limit. Are you aware of that new law?
I'm aware of the new law that will start July 1.
Right.
It hasn't started yet. There's more information to come about it.
Okay.
And how it will be implemented. Okay?
Oh, well, okay. So you got to get more information, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really interested in that, if you would help me out with that. Also, he passed the Rural Roads Bill, which this bill clarifies that improvements may include drainage upgrades on non-VDOT roads. Without paving them, they could bring in gravel, do ditch work, and things like that, and on non-VDOT roads. Are you familiar with that?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Non-hard surface roads that we maintain, I would go with that. But non-VDOT roads,
non-VDOT roads.
yeah, I don't know anything about that,
Okay.
Mr. Steers.
If you would check into that, plus I'd like to know, if we have, as a county, do we have to apply for the funding or apply for the permits to do this work? So if you'll let me know when you find out, I'd appreciate it.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, sir. Good to have you back.
All right.
Ms. Pearson?
I'm still getting calls about Stage Road, and there's going to be even more because of the diverted traffic during the summer months off of off of I-64. It just needs some work done, and I know you and I talked about that, and there is some slated, but the repaving is not slated until next year. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Well, maybe we could do it on an off cycle, like after all the traffic from the summer, maybe.
I don't know if that's going to happen at all.
I mean, there's a lot of traffic going through there now with the widening of 64 and all the traffic jams in the summertime. And I just wanted to thank you for setting up the meeting with me on June 25th to discuss Egypt Road.
Yeah, Philip and I will be here.
Thank you.
Okay?
Mr. Moyer?
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Wynn, thanks for all you guys do. We know we've seen the grass cutting and that's going on. We appreciate that. I was going to ask, is the marketplace light still on schedule?
Yes.
Okay.
Should be done this summer sometime, yeah.
Oh, no, that's a new schedule. We've seen a November 17th.
Well,
Okay.
they got construction. They have a task order out.
Okay.
I think you've seen probably some fiber optic cables coming
Yes,
out of the
yes,
corner.
we have, yes.
That's part of it.
Okay. So we're
Yeah.
on our way. That's good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let me see. One of the things that has been come up in the last couple of weeks has been the survey that's been sent out to some of my constituents that are up against 64 about if they would like to have sound barriers or not. What confuses them is that they thought the sound barriers were coming no matter what. And I think we're okay because according to what we understand, they need a 50% affirmative vote, and I think we have that. But I was wondering why the survey had to go out. That's not
When you submitted it to me, I had to look and do a little research.
okay.
And that's why I sent back. But
Yeah.
I called and asked the construction folks. It's just one of the things they do.
It's Dewberry, I guess, was the group that was doing it.
I mean, it doesn't take into the whole neighborhood. It's just the people that abut to the 64 traffic and that sort of thing.
I just, I know it's a 300 foot. It's, all
Yeah.
kinds of reasons why somebody would get a survey and somebody else wouldn't get a survey.
Right.
And one of the things they're experiencing now is because the trees are down the middle, they're hearing westbound also.
I wouldn't doubt it.
And I would think like the people in Brookwood Manor are actually now hearing eastbound, and they're going to have sound barriers on their side too, correct?
As far as I know.
Yeah. Okay.
As far as I know.
Okay, and just one other thing, there's some flooding occurring in Brookwood Manor. That there is some culverts there.
Yeah, Woodbrook and Timber.
Yes.
Yeah, Joe has looked into that. There's a
Okay.
couple of things he's going to be doing here in the near future
Okay.
to take care of that.
Very good. Thank you very much, Mr.
Okay.
Mr. Wynn, thanks for being here. We did a speed study on Cods Mill Road a few years ago. Do you remember that? 638?
I think so.
You did? Well, could you check into that? I've gotten a few calls and I see if we did one or not. I got some.
Cosby Mill?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I know you're on the maintenance side, but for the public, Mr. Hathaway sent us an email. Do you have an update on kind of what the schedule is on 64, what's going to be going on in the next couple months? I guess they're going to start harvesting the trees starting July 1 is what my understanding has been. And
You mean cleaning them up?
well, no, yeah, cleaning up. But
I mean,
traffic.
they can't cut any more trees until probably after November.
Right, I'm saying July 1 they're going to start cleaning up the timber.
As far as I know, yeah.
Yeah.
And they left, my opinion, they left a mess out there for somebody to clean up. I don't know whether they're going to tub grind it or they're going to haul it off or what they're going to do with it. So that's a question I've had with the, mega projects guy, and he doesn't know how they're going to do it. I mean, it's up to the contractor. Hey, he wants to get rid of that debris in those trees.
But as for lane closures, there's going to be, everything will be at night. As far as you know.
I don't know if everything's going to be done at night. So they got the Jersey wall and the median. They can do work on the backside of that Jersey wall.
Right.
And you've seen where they paved the shoulder all the way through. That's for probably other lane closures, so they can divert traffic over, move traffic over one lane. That's what I think they're going to do.
Maybe Mr. Hathaway, yourself, by our July board meeting, maybe we can give the residents an update of how that's going to be processing over the summer.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I can also invite Shirley Contractor. That's the reports that I've been sending you. They've been giving me weekly reports. I've been forwarding them to you. I can invite the contractor to our next meeting.
I mean, the contractor, Shirley.
Right.
So, yeah.
just so residents of the county can know what's kind of going on.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, we can now start our public hearings yet. I think next, just for the public input, our next meeting, we will be able to start our public hearings at 6:30, is that right? Mr. Everhart? We've changed that?
That's correct, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Well, next we'll go to the elected officials' reports. Ms. Stewart?
I don't have anything tonight.
Ms. Steers?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I had the honor to be invited to the groundbreaking yesterday for King of Glory Church. They have a church over in Providence Forge behind the food line, a small church there. And a couple of years ago, they bought several acres of land on Highway 155 across from the entrance to Royal New Kent. So we had the groundbreaking yesterday for a kickoff for them to build their new church. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Steers. Ms. Pearson?
I just wanted to mention some upcoming community events. June 15th is this week. The Saturday coming up is the Juneteenth celebration at the New Kent High School. June 29th is Relay for Life, also at the middle school and high school. June 30th is the New Kent Independence Day celebration at the New Kent High School. And June 25th, I'm going to have office hours with our District 3 school board member, Heather Dombrowski, at the Heritage Public Library from 5:30 to 7. And July 30th, we're planning a town hall at G.W. Watkins School. That's all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Pearson. Mr. Moyer?
I got a little presentation on what the Central Virginia Transportation Authority is. It's just a way to let the citizens know what kind of other funding do we get besides just our tax money. The CVTA, the Central Virginia Transportation Authority, was put together by the Virginia General Assembly and gave the function as a group to look at transportation regionally and see how we can fund that, and also transportation locally. So what is done? They have the authority, and that is given to that authority is to collect taxes on gasoline. 7 cents is being collected on each gallon of gasoline that we buy in the jurisdictions, and basically it's the Richmond area, including New Kent, and also a 0.7 cent sales tax that is also collected on anything that has sales tax. And this money goes into a pool where half of that money is used for regional projects. One of those projects is, of course, the 3 lanes for the Gap. And this was spearheaded by, of course, the late Patricia Page and getting this funding. That funding came out to $100 million that the CVTA and our tax money from gas and from sales tax has gone to. It also, they put in $18 million to help the interchange at 106. That will be an important factor when things are starting to develop up there. And so we've put in somewhere around 1.4 million, and the region figured it was that important that they put out 100 million. So we haven't donated a lot yet, but that's the one half. The other half is the money comes back to us. Half of the money comes back to us so we can use for our transportation needs that are local, that would not be taken care of by VDOT, or maybe used as a leverage. I'm thinking about, if we need a roundabout, we could put monies towards that to get it started maybe sooner. So those are the things that our funds are going to, and it's a significant amount of money that is being used by the region for us, and we have a significant amount of money that we can use for our transportation needs too. So.
Thank you for that update, Mr. Moyer. I only want to congratulate our graduates of New Kent High School. Graduation was Friday at William Mary. Mr. Bailey, I think you had someone that graduated. Sheriff, congratulations. And I understand it was a great ceremony. I think Mr. Moyer and Ms. Pearson were there. But I would just like to wish all the graduates all the best in their future endeavors. And congratulations to the all the support staff and teachers and on all their hard work. Get them done and enjoy your summer as well. Next, we're going to go to appointments delegated by districts. Does anybody have any? Mr. Moyer?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I move to appoint Robert Gray as District 2 representative to the Purchase of Development Rights Committee to serve a 3-year term beginning July 1, 2024, ending June 30th, 2027. He is now that person, so we needed to re-up him. So,
anyone else? Ms. Watkins, would you poll the members on the appointments delegated by district, please?
Ms. Pearson?
Aye.
Mr. Steers?
Aye.
Ms. Stewart?
Aye.
Mr. Moyer?
aye.
And Mr. Evelyn?
Aye. Next, appointments not delegated by districts. Let's see, there's a few that want to. Anybody have any? I move to appoint Carter Hatley as an at-large member of the Board of Building Code Appeals, Board of Fire Prevention Code Appeals to a completed 4-year term ending December 31st, 2025. Ms. Watkins, do these citizens ask to be reappointed to?
Yes, sir. The Children's Services Act Director has talked with all of them and recommended their appointments.
We need to reappoint them unless somebody has some concerns.
I move to appoint Andrea Gardner as the New Kent County representative to the Community Policy and Management Team to serve a 2-year term beginning July 1st, 2024 and ending June 30th, 2026.
Please.
I move to appoint Elizabeth Herner as the private service provider representative to the Community Policy and Management Team to serve a 2-year term beginning July 1st, 2024 and ending June 30th, 2026. I move to appoint Richard Durmeyer as the New Kent County School Representative to the Community Policy and Management Team to serve a 2-year term beginning July 1st, 2024 and ending June 30th, 2026. I move to appoint Suzanne Grable as the Department of Social Services representative to the Community Policy and Management Team to serve a 2-year term beginning July 1st, 2024 and ending June 30th, 2026. I move to appoint Ada Zayas as the Department of Health representative to the Community Policy and Management Team to serve a 2-year term beginning July 1st, 2024 and ending June 30th, 2026. I move to appoint Joseph Wright as the Juvenile Court Service Unit representative to the Community Policy and Management Team to serve a 2-year term beginning July 1st, 2024 and ending June 30th, 2026. There's 2 more. Oh, shoot. I move to appoint Daniel Rigsby as the Community Services Board representative to the Community Policy and Management Team to serve a 2-year term beginning July 1st, 2024 and ending June 30th, 2026. And I move to appoint Jenny Stolarski as the parent representative to the Community Policy and Management Team to serve a 2-year term beginning July 1st, 2024 and ending June 30th, 2026.
Thank you, Ms. Pearson. Any discussion? Ms. Watkins, will you poll the members of boards and commissions not delegated by district?
Mr. Steers?
Aye.
Ms. Stewart?
Aye.
Mr. Moyer?
Aye.
Ms. Pearson?
Aye.
And Mr. Evelyn?
Aye. Motion passed. Next, appointments of regional boards and commissions. Anybody have any? I move to appoint Rose Schoof as the District 1 representative to the Heritage Library Board of Trustees to serve a 4-year term beginning July 1, 2024, and ending July 30th, 2028. And she's in the audience, and thank you for your service again, if it passes.
We would do the
Lisa?
the regional, but they haven't appointed anybody yet.
Okay.
Because they haven't had a meeting.
All right. Ms. Watkins, will you poll the members on the regional boards and commissions?
Ms. Stewart?
Aye.
Mr. Moyer?
Aye.
Ms. Pearson?
Aye.
Mr. Steers? And Mr. Evelyn?
Aye, motion passed. Mr. Hathaway, staff reports. I think we have a
Yes,
couple
sir.
new employees here this evening.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. It is my pleasure tonight to introduce our 2 newest directors that have joined our team. First, I'd like to introduce Mrs. Lindsay Hurt, who is our new Economic Development Director. Lindsay joins us with a ton of experience in economic development, working for Henrico County, the state, Virginia Economic Development Partnership, and Chamora, one of the leading consultants in the country. So we're excited to have Lindsay, who has hit the ground running, join our team. Thank you. I'd also like to introduce Mr. Richard Lawrence, who has joined us as our new finance director of financial services. Richard, who goes by Tripp, is coming from the city of Fredericksburg, where he served as the deputy director of finance, and he's also worked for King William County. And actually, I believe he's currently a neighbor of King William, so he lives very nearby. And Tripp has hit the ground running, and we're fortunate to have both of them. Thank you.
Welcome aboard. Looking forward to working with both of you. Any other staff reports?
No, sir.
Any other business? Well, I guess we'll take a 27-minute recess, and we have 2 public hearings when we get back.
Yeah, yeah, we met at John. Environmental.
Call the meeting back to order. We have two public hearings this evening. First public hearing tonight is RAB Wings to Wheels LLC lease. Airport manager, Mr. Goss. I'm sorry.
You're forgiven. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, and Mr. Hathaway. For consideration tonight is the renewal of the RAB lease at the county airport for general aviation aircraft maintenance, which consists of airframe and power plant and aircraft inspections. The owner of RAB is Miss Anna Brown. They have been at the airport for the past 5 years and have provided this service. In moving forward, after having discussions with Mr. Hathaway and Ms. Brown, it can be a very demanding business and job, and she is expressing how much longer she wants to do this. So that being said, we feel it is in the best interest of the county and Ms. Brown if we move forward utilizing a month-to-month lease to allow and exercise a little more flexibility if needed. So that being said, if it is in your all's favor to do so, why, we will move forward. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Goss. Actually, I'll open up the public hearing first.
Okay, thank you.
Just stay up there real quick, though. If you don't mind, just stay up there. No one signed up. I'll close the public hearing. Now, does anybody have any questions?
I have a question. This is for staff. The lease is dated June 1 and today is June 10th. So do we need to change that at all, or is that still proper?
So the way that this is a draft lease, this was based on when the lease was drafted, my office and myself and Mr. Goss. The motion before the board would be to authorize the county administrator to execute the lease in a form approved by the county attorney. When we get the lessee and the county on it, we can change the date at that time. So it wouldn't affect the motion before the board today.
And I'm sorry, I meant to add, Mr. Everard did review the document for accuracy and form, and he did approve it.
And do we have a date for when the lease would be effective?
When the parties sign it, I don't know, Mr. Goss, if you're aware of when her availability is to come and sign.
Hopefully that can be accomplished before the end of this week.
Any other questions, comments? None, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll say, Mr. Chair, I authorize the county administrator to execute a lease agreement with RAB Wings to Wheels LLC in a form approved by the county attorney.
Thank you, Ms. Stewart. Any other discussion? Ms. Watkins, will you poll the members?
Mr. Moyer?
Aye.
Ms. Pearson?
Aye.
Mr. Steers?
Aye.
Ms. Stewart?
Aye.
And Mr. Evelyn?
Aye. Motion passed. Thank you.
Thank you all for your time.
Next public hearing is ordinance O-06-24, designation of streets with the Farms of New Kent Land Bay 5, Phase 1, subdivision for use by golf carts and utility vehicles. Mr. Hathaway.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. You have before you an application from the Four Seasons at New Kent Vineyard COA requesting that the streets within the first phase of Land Bay 5 be authorized for the use of golf carts and utility vehicles. Those streets include West Lloyd Botetourt Loop, East Lloyd Botetourt Loop, James Blair Lane, Robert Dinwiddie Terrace, Southampton Shire Way, and Rock Bridge Run Place. I would also like to note in the original application that was submitted, it was also requested that Four Seasons Ridge Boulevard also be included in that list from Route 106 to Southamptonshire Way. VDOT did not approve that stretch, so therefore it's not included in the resolution that you have before you. In order to authorize the use of golf carts and utility vehicles, it will require an amendment of Chapter 70 of the New Kent County Code, which you'll find the proposed amended language in Ordinance O-06-24. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hathaway. I will open up the public hearing. Anyone signed up? Ms. Shaw?
I'm going to wait to be called.
We do have one person signed up, Mr. Andy Shine.
Good evening. My name is Andy Shine, 8064 West Lord Botetart Loop, the Groves of New Kent, and also I live in Magnolia Run. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I brought to me some of my neighbors from the Groves. If they asked me to come up here, if you just stand up, and instead of have everyone come up and say the same thing, basically we're asking is to have the use of golf carts in Magnolia Run to be approved. We've been working real hard on this with Mr. Hathaway, probably for over a year and a half, putting in the applications. Our HOA actually did a time study, a 24-hour time study on one of the main roads coming into Magnolia Run, which said that we needed to be under 1,000 hits. We were at 525. So it clearly is well below that. Our board of directors has also put together a list of mandatory things: brake lights, blinker lights, horns, a triangle in the back of the golf cart saying slow-moving vehicle. And I also understand that we will be, with approval, putting up signs, slow-moving vehicles, and that's following VDOT's recommendation. So with that, we're excited. Some of us already have our golf carts sitting in our garages, me one of them, but we're just waiting to make sure we get all the things signed off and dotted. So we're asking for your approval. Any questions I can answer? Nothing?
Thank you, Mr. Shine.
Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Hathaway?
Mr. Chair, I don't have a question for Mr. Hathaway, but I have one for our sheriff. Sheriff Bailey, do you believe this will create any additional burden for you?
I don't foresee that it will. Just the response that we've typically had in the other neighborhoods that have had or enacted the ordinance, normally their residents, if someone is violating it, they will report them because they run the risk of everybody being punished and the board taking action to remove their ability to have them.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Sheriff, anything, one of the things we've seen in some of the other areas is some underage non-licensed participants. I don't think that's going to be a big problem in the Groves. Don't take that to mean anything, but I kind of like to have the I like to have the riot act, kind of reviewed every time somebody puts a permit out for this. Right. So if you would go through some of that for me.
The penalty for a violation of the county ordinance itself, for a first violation, it's a civil penalty or would be punished as a civil matter with a fine of $150, saying it shall be imposed upon conviction. A second offense, a second violation in any 12-month period shall be punished as a Class 2 misdemeanor, which carries with it a maximum of up to 6 months in jail, up to $1,000 fine, either or both. And a third offense, third or subsequent conviction in any 12-month period carries with it is a Class 1 misdemeanor, which is up to 12 months in jail, up to a $2,500 fine, either or both. That's just for the violation of the county ordinance. Obviously, if we have someone that is underage, we could also charge under the state code for not having a license, not having insurance, any other requirement if they ran a stop sign, because you are bound to all the rules of the road. So if you run a stop sign, they could be charged with that traffic infraction as well.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Ms. Pearson, is it's your district.
Mr. Chairman, I was just going to make a comment also, because in years past, we've had residents request golf carts in their neighborhood, and they must also understand that this doesn't mean you can take your golf cart and go down to Mr. Shine's house and play pool and drink beer all day and get in your cart and come back home. And I know a lot of time people, they forget about that. I mean, the same rules for a vehicle apply to the golf carts also. Just, I'm sure you guys have, did you poll your neighbors to see if that's what the majority of the people wanted? Mr. Shine?
We did not specifically poll the neighbors as a group poll or anything else like that. It's just something that's been talked about. Our board of directors actually approved golf carts and the idea of golf carts, I think, 3 years ago.
Right.
So ever since then, it's been the talk of the community, and they know that tonight we're having a public hearing. So this was their chance to come down here. So.
Okay. All right.
But we'll make sure it's aware that they are aware of they can't come to my house with alcohol and beers or anything else like that, because I have all that stuff there for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shine.
I will note that there's a lot of citizens in the neighborhood that want people to slow down anyway. So those signs that are going to go up, I mean, the sheriff's office has they've put signs out there, but those signs are going to go up, and I think that's going to help a lot too.
Ms. Pearson,
Mr. Chairman, I move to adopt ordinance
Mr. Chairman, can we close the public hearing?
Oh, sorry.
I closed the public hearing.
All right.
I think I did.
Mr. Chairman, I move to adopt ordinance O-06-24 to authorize the use of golf carts and utility vehicles on streets within the farms of New Kent Land Bay 5, Phase 1 subdivision.
Thank you, Ms. Pearson. Any other comments? If none, Ms. Watkins, will you poll the members, please?
Ms. Pearson?
Aye.
Mr. Steers?
Aye.
Ms. Stewart?
Aye.
Mr. Moyer?
Aye.
And Mr. Evelyn?
Aye. That's our last public hearing of the evening. Any other board members have any comments? If not, the next regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Supervisors will be held at 6 p.m. on Monday, July 8th, 2024, and the next work session will be held at 9 a.m. on Tuesday, June 25th, 2024, both in the boardroom and the county administration building. I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Moyer. Ms. Watkins, will you poll the members, please?
Mr. Steers?
Aye.
Ms. Stewart?
Aye.
Mr. Moyer?
Aye.
Ms. Pearson?
Aye.
And Mr. Evelyn?
Aye. Meeting adjourned.